Hey guys, listen up.
This is the SEC Insider Hit, powered by Miss Kelly Furniture, Mississippi's number one sleep store.
All hail to the victor. You knew who we were on Harbaugh in Michigan from the jump. Jason wasn't, but that's okay. He's still learning. He's young and naive. And we've let him had his big, young, and naive season. His first one. He's trying to figure it out. Kind of reminds me of Jackson a little bit. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're brought to you by the Purple Mattress from any of the Miskelly sleep stores. If you need to upgrade your recliners or recliner, bar stools, or sectional sofas, especially as you get into the NFL playoffs and March Madness, now's the time to visit Miskelly Furniture. Yes, the number one furniture store in the Southeast. Good morning. Welcome in. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. We're live in the BankPlus Studio. We're coming off 25 million people watching the national championship game. People ask the question, without Bama and Georgia, would people watch it? Average 25 million viewers, the highest total in 4 seasons. Michigan and the Michigan men take home the title. We want to welcome in Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa, Roll Tide Insider. Ryan Fowler, what has your show been like the last couple of weeks?
Well, to be honest with you, I got back, I had flights to Houston, and something happened out in California. I didn't need those, so I just flew directly back here. I came back for one day, and then I caught this, I don't know what I caught in California. I mean, they called it the flu, but I say something else. But I was running a pretty high temp for about 4 days, so I missed a couple of shows. It has been, to be honest with you, not as bad as maybe what it's been in the past. Like when you lose, like 2018, you go out there and you're so dominant, right? And then you get out to Santa Clara and Clemson just lays a butt kicking on you. Those shows were different. Deshaun Watson, the illegal pick play in 2016. Those moments are different, okay? This one has been calm, and I think it goes back. Listen, I know you've been on my show a ton. I've been on this show a ton. This Alabama team overachieved. I mean, they did. I mean, whatever excuse you want to say, this team did something that, and really it should be frustrating for the SEC. I mean, as bad as Alabama was this year, they won the SEC. So if you're an SEC fan, you're looking like, how do you get these guys? How do you get them? And that should be frustrating for the opposing fans because Alabama was a team that deserved to be there, but they had to fight and claw to get there. And this is not one of Nick Saban's best coaching staffs. This is not one of his best groups of players. But, hey, definitely want to thank Mississippi State for taking Coleman Hutzler, man. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Wow. Shots fired early from Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. They're kind of in a little bit of a weird spot, a little bit of disarray over there. 3 seasons in a row. First time since Saban's been there. 3 seasons in a row with no title. Ron Fowler.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, a true freshman who played, and then 3 years later he departed, he'll leave here without a national title. I mean, that's monumental. A guy like J.C. Latham, think about coming in for 3 years, and he'll depart without a national championship. It's not the standard here in Tuscaloosa. And to be honest with you, I've asked the audience if they need to reevaluate, because college football is about to get harder. I mean, it's about to get tough. We're already seeing that, right? I mean, the transfer portal, NIL, how that's impacted the depth on these teams. When you add the 12 teams playoff, when you add 2 additional teams in the SEC, the road just got harder. I asked the question yesterday. I said, all right, so if I'd have surveyed you guys a couple of years ago, you'd have probably said 2. Some of you would have said 3. How many more national titles is left in the tank for Nick Saban? I mean, you got to be a realist. I said 1. Because it's a challenge, Bo. I mean, mathematically. I mean, think about this point next year. We would have only played 1 semifinal game, right? I think it's on the 9th and the 10th. championships on the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the road to get there just become bumpier. And I think that's what they wanted, right? I mean, the transfer portal, NIL, pay for play, it's equal, the playing field for a lot of these teams.
Maybe. What's going on with Kevin Steele, defensive coordinator?
I thought he would be here for a couple of years. I really did. I didn't think this was a one-year deal. But Bo, I did notice he was very fragile. And I don't know if that was the way the field was shaped, but I watched him walking across the field, and I'm like, man, no wonder he's in the box, because he's just 66, getting on up there. And so he's going to retire. So I don't think there's any more to the story than that right there. I haven't heard anything other than, he's ready to retire. He's put a lot of years in, and, that's the thing about coaches is they make a lot of money, but rarely do they get a chance to enjoy it. I mean, 80, 90 hours a week.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
No,
and now, like
7
you
days
said, with all the coaches that I'm talking to are miserable because of NIL.
They are. Yeah,
they all want to go to the NFL. Most of them are not NFL, are not going to get that, even as an assistant is what I'm saying, Ryan, assistant or coordinator.
Yeah, and they're complaining about the calendar, Bo.
Right.
Look at wait till next year's calendar, because you're going to add now playoff games in that little lull between December. So if you're one of the top 12 teams, it just becomes even more hectic for you.
Oh, yeah, trying to get the class in, the transfer portal, and possibly play more than one game, not a bowl game that doesn't matter. That's a great point, Ryan. I don't know how they're going, and the chief of staff guys and stuff like that, that have got their team under them, that are looking at all this, film and cut ups of all these other teams to try to identify transfer portal players. I wonder, where it's going, but I don't know what they could do for the calendar, but
maybe you could make early signing for your pre-football.
I've mentioned that over the years. Just make it, the high school the kids that want to go ahead and make it, make the call, let them make it in August, right?
I agree. No, because you're already doing visits in the summer. Plus, I think a lot of kids for the high school, probably the high school coaches, would be greatly appreciative of that, because it removes a lot of distractions, right? I mean, a kid's got to play in Mississippi on a Friday night. He probably gets out of the stadium, close to 10:30, 11 o'clock. He's got to jump on a plane or somewhere to go take an official visit. That's a challenge, and it probably limits where he can go. So do it all in the summer and have that early signing period, and then have the late signing period in February. But that would help a little bit of the calendar.
Any names thrown out as far as what Alabama could do at the defensive coordinator spot? I mean, is Coleman Hutzler number one on the list, or someone else?
Oh yeah. Well, he was, but Mississippi State just that barbecue over there is it's too much. There's no way he's going to leave. We can't compete with that.
Pete Golding.
But, I had a guy call me yesterday, and I said, "You're an idiot." Around the year, he literally said, "Well, let's bring Pete back," and I said, "No, thanks, Pete. You're doing great there. We're doing great here without you. So you keep up the good work. We'll keep up the good work." I think it's T-Rob. I think it's Devarius Robinson. I think, and really, I'd like to go back to Lane Kiffin. Lane says a lot of things, and a lot of times he's trolling, but it's based on facts. I'd like to go back. You remember when Alabama was playing Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin said, that looks like T-Rob's play calling. That doesn't look like Kevin Steele. And we all accused Lane of trolling. Remember that?
Yeah.
I wonder if Lane had some more information. I just wonder if, because you got to think, he's got a lot of connections to that staff. I almost wonder, when you look at Devarius Robinson, if he wasn't maybe more responsible just in cornerbacks coach, because he was no doubt on the play, on the field. Kevin was in the box, and you could see him communicating a lot. Out when I was going the sidelines, it was more involved than just your typical position coach. I almost wonder if he didn't have a bigger role. And also keep in mind, he's an elite recruiter. And
so he doesn't have to be the DC. I mean, if he's an elite recruiter, he can stay at corner.
Well, but I think as far as defensive coordinator, I think that's his next jump. I think when you look at it, and I visited with him.
So you're going to name an Auburn alum as your defensive coordinator?
Oh, he's already the cornerbacks coach. I mean, he's done great. I mean, he's a smart guy. I mean, he knows. I mean, it's hard to sell Auburn right now. So,
wow.
And it's also the quickest way to becoming a head coach. And most of these guys want to be able to do that. But I walked away. I had 2 interviews I interviewed Tommy Reese. I interviewed Javarius Robinson, one other coach out there. And I walked away going, my heavens, no wonder this guy wins the living room. I mean, you could see it. You could see that connection and just the way that he explained stuff. And look at what he's done with that secondary. That secondary was depleted this time last year going to the NFL with Jordan Battle, Brian Branch, DeMarco Helms. Ricks went to Philadelphia. That secondary was gutted. And look at that secondary. You had Caleb Downs, the true freshman, who really took some steps under Robinson, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and then look at Terrion Arnold. Now has worked himself into a first-round projection. You got to give him credit on that secondary.
So he's worked at Florida and South Carolina, and he was Muschamp's defensive coordinator, although Muschamp is the DC when he's been the head coach. But I'll actually give Muschamp credit. He is a good defensive coach, terrible head coach. So you may be promoting from within a guy that's really never been a DC, but he's been real close to it. And Travaris Robinson, wow, that would be interesting. Okay.
I mean, you guys got Coleman Hutzler over there. When's the last time he called plays?
Yeah, but you're Alabama.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot it. Okay. Yeah.
I mean if you're Alabama, you go get Jim Leonard and you call it a day, and you just got the number 1 defensive coordinator in the country who's somehow sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, what's all that about?
I don't. It tells us what you and I know. Coaches don't know how to staff. Coaches don't know how to hire coaches. The overwhelming majority of coaches don't know how to fill out a staff. That's why the overwhelming majority of them get fired.
Well, DJ Durkin's also a name that came up over here.
Well, he's a good coach.
Solid, but Jim Leonard's been a guy that's been.
But I think that's what
years.
Ron, $4 million. I mean, I know Bama's got Mississippi State and Ole Miss have plenty of money, but I don't know if Greg Byrne and Nick Saban are willing to drop $4 million and maybe ish to buy out DJ Durkin's contract from A&M. But I could be wrong. Go ahead.
Well, here's the other thing that I'd like to do. It's been like LSU, Alabama, Texas. I think we should just have a bidding war over Bo Davis because that's been the area that Alabama's lost a lot of punch on that defensive line.
You have.
I'd love to move Freddie Roach back to, backers somewhere outside, inside. Depends on what Rubber Ball knows. I think he's been talking about Georgia Tech. So you may lose 3 assistants over there. You've already lost Coleman Hutzler to Mississippi State. So you may have some flexibility.
Who, by the way, is a top 10% special teams coach. You may not like him, but he's a proven special teams coach. He's not a proven DC. I'm with you. But he is a proven and special teams is a big piece of the puzzle.
He's a solid recruiter. I mean, he can recruit. But is recruiting as important as what it used to be?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No question.
Are kids making decisions based on the color of the uniform, or are they based on how much green you can get me?
Both. That's why your team in Georgia will still always, and LSU and Ohio State will continue to be the now Texas has joined the club, but the top 4 recruiters will still have the dudes. Georgia, Bam. Now, where you're scratching around is can Lane and some other teams do enough to level the playing field through the transfer portal? And what Lane's doing is an incredible case study as to exactly where, has he hit the ceiling? Is there more room for growth? Is there more runway? I can't wait to see. Ole Miss fans over here, some believe that they are national championship contenders. I'm not ready to go there yet. Are they college football playoff worthy? Yes. But still, as you just described, once you get there, you still got to grind through several games, and it's still going to come down to depth and 4- and 5-star players. So we'll we'll see. It's going to be awesome to see if this is more of a Saban Kirby and the others that I referenced party, or if Ole Miss or another team can break Missouri or another team can break through a combination of good high school recruiting and what we're told is really good transfer portal haul. Your thoughts?
Well, Lane Kiffin's an elite football coach. I mean, you know how much respect I have for him.
He is. He's top 10 in the country.
When I watch him play calling, that's probably the advantage for him. In game, I think he's one of the best out there, trying to find those mismatches. Now, Monday through Thursday, probably not as strong as Saturday for Lane Kiffin. But when you talk about,
let me tell you how good he is at his craft, because you just mentioned his play calling, and you're right. He's a top 10 offensive coordinator, play caller. Lane can spin, like Saban and Smart and Harbaugh and Brian Kelly and DeBoer at Washington, some of these other guys that are also in the top 10 with Lane, would never spend 4 months out of the year in Boca Raton. Lane's got this system. He's got the people where he wants them. And he still goes down to Boca Raton 4 months out of the year. And not like in a row, but throughout the year. So he still believes he can kind of do this NFL thing, but he still won 29 games in 3 years, which is unbelievable for Ole Miss. So it is a fascinating case study that we're all kind of monitoring here. And you're right, he is a top 10 coach. Love him, not love him. He may be your next head coach. He may not. He's done a hell of a job.
And I almost wonder, when you think about it, is the ceiling there? I still think there's more to the ceiling. I really do. I think the 12-team playoff now will open it up, and I think 12 teams will be able to say we had success, not just a major bowl game. I actually get in trouble over here for bragging on Lane Kiffin.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Joey Freshwater?
Exactly. Well, no, I mean, because I'd love to see him if Nick Saban retired tomorrow as the head coach here. And I think
would he be your number one pick?
Yes, he would be.
Okay.
Now, D'Amico Ryans is coming out of Houston. You got to keep an eye on him.
No way he leaves the NFL to go to Bama.
See, Alabama's different, man. Alabama's different. This is his alma mater. This guy bleeds crimson and white.
Wow, I don't see it, but that would be interesting to see if it came down to D'Amico and Lane and Dabo and maybe there's not a lot out there.
No, there's not. And who wants to follow Nick Saban? Lane Kiffin would have the guts to do it.
He would.
Very few coaches would.
You're right.
He would not back down from that. So we just want to thank you guys for training our future coach. We appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. And ribs are on us.
I'm going to miss you guys next year.
What do you mean? Without playing us?
You guys. Yeah, it's weird.
I'm so glad. We're so glad that Ole Miss and Mississippi State don't have Bama.
We're going to miss you guys. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's going to be weird to not
But then
have
the next year
football.
we get you. So.
I guess we're only temporary. What's good?
Every other year. Every other. Hey, why is somebody just text us? I got a few minutes. Why is Kool-Aid in the portal?
No, he's not in the portal.
Oh, okay.
He's going to the NFL. He's a first-round guy.
Okay, I was like, that doesn't make sense. But CWR just hit me with that text. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, are y'all going to stay with Milroe, or are y'all going to upgrade?
He was the best quarterback for this team. Will he be the best quarterback for next year's team? I think that's to be determined.
Who's the freshman phenom?
Julian Sayin, and you also got a redshirt freshman that's Dylan Lonergan, who is really
say that name again
over here. Dylan Lonergan.
Okay.
Yeah, super athlete and can spin the football. Probably got one of the prettiest balls out there. But Julian Sayin from Carlsbad, California, watched him out in L.A. Man, he can absolutely spin it, but he's a little small. Probably going to have to get to the weight room. Listen, if Arch Manning can't make the difference in 1 year, I know Quinn Ewers in front of him, but I don't expect 2024 will be that year, probably 2025. But I do expect that there will be, Ty Simpson coming back. I mean, if you'd have went to Vegas and said, hey, I'll bet that Ty Simpson's going to leave, you wouldn't have got very much. If you'd have bet that he was coming back, you'd have probably won a ton. So that's one of the things that we'll talk about.
Ty Simpson?
You know, well, I think he could compete. I think he could compete. I think that, you know, and I think when you look at Jalen Milroe, no doubt he's done some great things. But will it be a competition? I mean, it'll take a lot for him to lose the job. But, I mean, look at Nick Saban. He put 26 and 2 Jalen Hurts on the bench and went with Tua Tagovailoa.
Right. That's why. Jalen Hurts is a boomer sooner.
And that's why my Cowboys are NFC champs, NFC East champs too.
Well, I'm rooting for the Cowboys, and I'm glad that you're feeling the Dak magic, but need to get past the Packers.
I've been a Dallas Cowboy all my life. 4 years old. I'm sending you photos if you want me to verify it. I didn't jump on the train since I can send them to you. I'll send them to you. It's
I acknowledge I jumped on the train.
Yeah. I mean, we like pulling for the dogs. I have nothing against Mississippi State. I love going over there. So, I mean, you got to remember, where I pull out of my driveway, 30 minutes, I can be in the state of Mississippi. My wife and I go over there all the time just to escape Tuscaloosa for a little bit. And got some great friends over there. We love the state of Mississippi.
We're going to have to we'll have to meet. There's a new barbecue spot. You know, most barbecue spots in the South really aren't that good. You can make better barbecue at home. There's a new barbecue spot in Starkville that is amazing. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Smokehouse or something. Craig Fant owns it, and all right. I had the best brisket sandwich I've ever had. Oh, it's called The Joint. The Joint. You got to meet me there. Will you do that in Starkville?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
It's going to crush. I won't even make you say how much better it is than Dreamland. We'll just not even talk about it. We'll just have lunch, talk about Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban.
Better than Little Dewey's? I mean, Little Dewey's?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Best brisket sandwich I've ever had at The Joint. It's amazing.
Hey, I'm all in. And I think we play basketball over there Saturday, I think. Don't we play Mississippi State? We do.
It's a week from Saturday or this Saturday?
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. I need to go look. I mean, you and I are pro basketball people. By the way, we took care of South Carolina last night. But, you know, it's the appetizer.
Alabama is Saturday? Football. Alabama and the Dogs are Saturday. Okay, Vanderbilt is the next Saturday. Got it. All right. There you go.
I'm just glad somebody else loves basketball like I do, Bo.
Well, you know what I say about your fans. 90% don't know who Nate Oates is. That's okay, though. Hey, I love you. Roll Tide. We'll meet at The Joint in the next month or two, and we're just going to smash some ribs and brisket. Okay?
Roll Tide. Thank you guys so much.
All right, buddy. Ryan Fowler joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. They're looking for a defensive coordinator. Are they going to promote from within? They're Alabama. They don't have to promote from within. The show, Morning Drive, driven by your next Ford F-150 truck, pre-owned or new, Mack Hike Ford, I-55 North in Jackson. And it's on the record, Jason. Ryan Fowler wants Lane Kiffin to replace Nick Saban. Back in a second.